Grand Rising, everybody. How y'all doing? This is Eric, tuning in from the Blank Spot, guys, and we're located right outside of Columbia, South Carolina, in a town called Casey. We're a sublimation blanks and supply warehouse, and today we're going to be talking about how to easily measure a 3D shirt or a shirt for a 3D image. Now, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. The YouTube channel is the Blanks Spot. That's TheBlankSpot. Hit the bell to be notified so that when you are subscribing, you can actually know when we go live, like we're live right now, dropping new videos. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get to it. I have a shirt, actually two shirts to do this morning for a customer, and I wanted to come on and share with you the importance of capturing the best template for your 3D shirt. Grand Rising, Ms. Brenda, thanks for jumping on. I want to encourage you to think about some things when you're getting ready to do your 3D designs. Okay. Now, there's a lot of people out there who have watched YouTube videos. As a matter of fact, if somebody's going to watch this, is going to say, "Hey, that was some great information. I'm going to see if I can do it." Or you're going to say, "Hey, that looked too difficult or too complicated." But I want you to be careful and be mindful of the YouTube videos that you're watching. Okay. I want you to be careful and be mindful of the videos that you're watching, because they're going to make it look easy. And then you're going to leave that video and you're going to say, "Hey, I can do that." But there's more to creating a 3D design for a 3D shirt than just designing it in a design software. And it doesn't really matter what design software you're designing in, but it does matter how you design it. So I'm not a designer, but I can speak to the part of printing and pressing. Okay, because when the image comes to us, I'm looking at a couple of things. The first thing I'm looking at when that t-shirt image comes to us, I'm looking at how it's coming. Is it a block? Is it a t-shirt template? Is it a t-shirt template that makes sense? Because every t-shirt template is not going to make sense. Now, as you see me standing here, I have my arms down. And this is how a mannequin would wear a t-shirt. This is how a regular person would wear a t-shirt. Arms are down to the side. If you're looking for templates that look like this, then you're not going to have as much success as if you look for templates with the t-shirt out like this. Why? Because when you actually lay your t-shirt out to measure it, your t-shirt's going to be like this when you measure it. Now, I'm going to turn around in a minute and I'm going to lay my t-shirt out and I'm going to show you how I actually measure the shirts. That's another issue that a lot of people have been having when they go to do this. First time. I've never done it before. And you jump on it and you say, "Hey, how do you measure the shirts?" Well, that's the first thing that they should be teaching you on these YouTube channels. They should be teaching you how to properly measure that shirt. There's a couple of ways you can do it. You can do it the way you want to do it. You're going to figure out the best way for you. However, there are some things that I have adapted in doing this that I like to do. And I like to, keep it on the regular. So there's a couple of things that you can do. The first thing you need to understand before you even design your design, before you even go to the drawing board and design your design, you have to know the type of shirt that you're going to use, the style shirt. There's so many different sublimation shirts out there, brand name shirts. You got your jersey shirts, you got your Gildans, you got your Crickets. That's just to name a few. And each shirt is cut differently. So I know a lot of crafters are looking for the one size fits all, and there's no such thing when it comes to creating that one size fits all. One size is never going to fit all. Okay. One size is never going to fit all. So you have to take into consideration the type of the brand name shirt that you're going to be using. So as I pause, I'm going to let you guys get yourselves together. Make sure you drop your city and state if you haven't done so already. Double tap that screen, share this video, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok. Go ahead and share the video with someone who you know that is creating right now. Maybe they're t-shirt designers. Maybe they are looking to do 3D images. Maybe they're looking to design. I just want you guys to go ahead and share, because there's going to be some important things that I talk about. Hopefully it'll add some value to your business, to your operation, to your side hustle. Now, my wife had to tell me this because I'm not a designer. She's taking a lot of design classes, and maybe it'd probably be best that I bring her on here one day so she can actually relay the message, because it seems like a lot of people are not getting it from me, but I'm going to share it again anyway. Most people is what I'm being told, when you're designing in Photoshop, most people are designing in a box. That's what my wife told me. She told me that people are being taught to design in a box on Photoshop. Anybody design on Photoshop? Anybody on here design in Photoshop? Have you had some instructors to teach you how to design for 3D design? Are they teaching you to design inside of a box? Or are they teaching you to design inside of a t-shirt template? The two are different. And the reason why they're different is because if you're designing inside of a box, things may be all over the place. The first thing you have to understand is, what size box am I going to use to design in? That design space is what I'm talking about. The design space is going to be important. If I'm using a larger shirt, this is the 2X shirt that I have on right now. If I'm using a larger shirt, I'm going to want to design in a larger box. But let's put some things into perspective. We have our 44-inch wide printers here, and if you're going to upload your transfers to our software so we can actually print for you, we're gonna have a we print up to 44 inches wide and 40 inches long. So what I recommend is, if you're gonna design and you're designing inside of that box, you're gonna design that inside that 44 by 40 inch box. But don't just design inside the box. Don't just stop there. You want to have a t-shirt template so you can make sure that your images are hitting on the t-shirt. There's nothing worse than somebody creating a design and them having to redesign it, readjust it, shift it, move it around, because they don't know where the image is hitting. It's kind of like throwing rocks at a barn and hoping that you hit the barn. That's what people are doing. And that's what I've noticed. I'm going to show you really quickly the type of template that we use. I'm going to show you the template that we use. This is the template that we use. It looks like a t-shirt that's laid out. Someone says that I use Photoshop. The program itself opens in a box. Okay. Is there any way for you to take a template and put inside that box? I guess that's the question. I'm ignorant to Photoshop, and I'm not ashamed to say it. But is there a way to take a template, a t-shirt template, and place inside that box and design inside that template? There is. Okay. That's what I recommend people start doing. If you're gonna, connect with us here at the Blank Spot, and I think any print shop would appreciate it, because there's a couple of things that happens on our end. You may say, hey, well, you know what? I'm paying you for a transfer. But when you pay us for a transfer, and we print, and you designed in a box, we're printing the printer's going to pick up that whole image. So that printer's going to print a square box. Now let's talk about the pressing of it. If I print out a square, it's going to be and I'm pressing it, it's going to be my responsibility to lay that image, that t-shirt on top of that image, and see if that fits inside that square. Tea time, Grand Rising, thanks for jumping on. So when I talk about this, I recommend that if you're going to be doing 3D shirts, 3D designs, that you get a template. We have these templates on our website. Our website is theblankspot.com. That's THEBLANKSSPOT.com. This template is selling for $2. We also have it on our custom website, tbscustoms.shop. If you're going to be uploading custom designs, you can actually buy the template there as well. That's going to assist you and aid you in learning and understanding how to properly position that image on that shirt. If not, it's just a crapshoot. You're sending me a box, and I'm sitting there printing the box, and now I'm trying to line the shirt up to where it's going to fit right in the middle. So that's something that you got to think about, okay? So for this example, we usually use our shirts. Okay? And you can find our shirts on our website as well, theblankspot.com. They're going to be TBS shirts. But a lot of times when we actually do our shirts for our customers, they have an option. They can choose our shirts, or they can choose a jersey brand. Okay. Today I'm going to be using a jersey brand shirt. And I'm going to tilt my screen down, YouTube. I'm going to tilt my screen down, TikTok, so y'all can see me measuring. Some of y'all have seen this before. The press is hot, it's on, it's hot, but I'm just going to lay this down so you can get an idea. So you can get an idea of how I'm going to measure this, okay? There's a couple of ways that we can do this. This is the first way we can do this, all right? You lay the shirt flat. Now, if you notice the t-shirt, if you can see the t-shirt isn't sitting like this. The t-shirt's not sitting like this. It's not going with the arms down. The t-shirt is sitting with the arms out. Why? The t-shirt sitting with the arms out because it's our intention to capture as much of the t-shirt as we can. If the t-shirt was down like this, it wouldn't be stretched out and you wouldn't get a good press on it. So if you're buying a template with the arms hanging down, that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to stop for a minute. I'm going to pause over here on TikTok. And I see you guys are really into it. I need y'all to double tap the screen. So I'm going to pause and come back and see if you guys have done that. Give me 1 second. So for you, YouTube, thank y'all for jumping on. I appreciate it. Had to put TikTok in timeout, man. They're sitting there. It's got like 60 some people on there, and they're sitting there sucking up the information, but they're not participating. So I need them to double tap. Also, guys, if you have not subscribed, like I said, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's the Blank Spot, and you can hit that bell to be notified. If not, you're gonna miss out. Okay, you're gonna miss out. So, we're gonna give them a little time to get their stuff together. They're dropping off. This is just what I expected. We're gonna give them some time to get themselves together. And if they're not getting together, then we're gonna get rid of them, okay? Because this is how we do. This is how we make our business. So I see some people have dropped off. As what I expected. So I need you guys to go ahead and double tap the screen, okay? This is some free information that I'm giving. I'm not asking you guys to drop me any dinos or anything. You can if you want, but this is some free information that I'm giving. And in order to keep on giving this free information, all I ask you guys to do is to double tap the screen and also to share the video, okay? So now that we got rid of all the riffraff, here we go. We're gonna take this fabric ruler. This is a fabric ruler. Many of you guys are familiar with this ruler. I have taken the end off of the side that starts with the 1. I've taken the end off, okay? I've taken the end off, and I measure from the tip of the sleeve as it's out, from sleeve to sleeve is how I would measure, okay? That's one way that you can do this. A couple of different ways. And when you measure this, you want to make sure you write the exact number down on a piece of paper, okay? After you do that, you want to give yourself a little, I guess you can call it bleed. You want to give yourself a little bleed. So I'm measuring this. It's at 39.5, okay? 39.5. Now, I'm not going to design my image exactly at a 39.5. I'm not going to do that. Because if I do that at a 39.5, T-Time, what's going on? You made it over here to YouTube. If I measure this at exactly a 39.5, what's going to happen is I'm going to come up short on my design, okay? I'm going to come up short on my design. My image is going to be short, and I'm going to miss my sleeves. So I want to give it a little bit of overlap, okay? So 39.5, I'm probably going to do about 42 inches. And then I'm going to measure from the back. So it's laying down. So this is the top of the shirt. So the very top of the shirt to the tail, to the bottom. And I got 31. So I'm going to give myself about an inch and a half, and I'm going to measure this at about 42 by 33, okay? 42 by 33. That's going to be my measurements for my shirt. That's one way I can do it. Another way I can do it, guys, is I can use my jig. I've already created a jig. Another way I can do it, I can use my jig. Got to learn for what I get. Yeah. So it's going to be different, man. It's a lot different from when you having a big press and a small press, but it's still the same as well when you're actually doing your design. So do you see my jig? My jig has my sleeves out. My jig has my sleeves out. My sleeves are not curving down. They're out. Some people are selling these images. Some people are selling these images, and they're selling these images. I just gotta go, y'all. If y'all want to see us, y'all slide over to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is The Blank Spot. Okay, guys? I can't with TikTok right now, y'all. My patience is real short. So, I had like 50 likes, man. It's like nobody wants to participate. So, this is what it looks like here. Okay, I leave a little part here for the neck, for the collar, and I'll show you how I put something there so the ink doesn't transfer to the back. Okay, but this is my jig. So I'm gonna measure it again because now I can also measure it when I flatten it out. After I flatten it out, I can measure it as well. Some of these social media platforms and some of the personalities that get on there, I promise you guys, it's like they're looking for something for nothing, but the participation is what we need. If we're giving some nuggets, if we're creating some content, we need some participation. It is a mental thing. It's a mental thing. I used Teflon, Miss Brenda. What happened to TikTok? Nobody was participating, Daryl. I'm not gonna be on there. I'm not gonna be on there sharing and nobody's participating. So this is our channel. And if they're not gonna participate on TikTok, I'm not gonna share it. I'm already giving it for free. So this way, at least I get some views on YouTube and we're monetized. So I use Teflon, Miss Brenda. This is Teflon. You can get the Teflon at YouTube. I mean, at Amazon. All right. Yeah, Daryl, it was just a simple request. You know, we had at one time, we had like 60 people on TikTok and 3 likes. So, you know, so I already measured it once, y'all. I measured it once and I hope y'all can see. Okay. I did measure it once. I'm going to measure it again after I press it because after I press it, it's now going to be flattened. I might need the other one. I know I did. Did I do two X's? Yeah. So after I press this and it flattens, and this is something that a lot of people don't know. Once you press these shirts and they lay down flat, they're going to extend a little. Okay? They're going to extend a little. So once I press this shirt, it's going to grow. All right? It's going to grow. So I'm going to press the shirt, but before I do, I got some transfer on here. I want to make sure I protect my shirt. I want to make sure I protect my shirt. Now we're talking about measuring a 3D shirt because some of the things that we encounter from crafters is that they don't know how to measure, or B, when they do measure, the measurements may be off, or C, they're using what I like to call a subpar template. There's lots of great designers out there that you can purchase designs from. There's lots of great designers out there that can give you what you need, but they're just grabbing templates. And I'm not sure if the designers even know what I'm talking about. I'm not sure the designers even know the importance of having a template that is, you know, straight out. I'm not sure if they know that or not. But it's important that you know because you're the one that's purchasing. I will. She stepped out for a minute, but I will, Miss Myrna. So I'm placing these on the sleeves because I've used this before, and it doesn't matter how much I clean this off, you're still going to get some transfer. And then I always put something here. Now I'm just going to pre-press this shirt. I'm not pressing the shirt to get moisture out this time. This time I'm pressing it so it can be flat, because I want to measure it again, okay? So if you guys haven't done so and you joined us, do me a favor, drop that city and state. Love to know where you're tuning in from. This is the Blank Spot. We're Sublimation Blanks and Supply warehouse located in Columbia, South Carolina. And we're just simply talking about how to measure that 3D shirt. How to measure that 3D shirt. We want to do this We want to do this in a way that you're going to work with your print shop, the person or the company that's doing the printing and or pressing. You want to be able to work with them to make their job a little bit easier. And hopefully they're communicating things like this to you so you'll know and understand. And I'm just putting this down here because I have ink on my jig, okay? Now, in some instances, you may see me take this, take and put paper over the top. That's because I think I may have some transfer on the top, I would do that, but I think I'm okay. I'm gonna press this down just to flatten the shirt. Once I flatten the shirt, I'm gonna measure it again. Virgil King, Brooklyn, thanks for jumping on. Amanda, Texas City, Texas. I got you already, tea time. Is that Boynton, Oklahoma? Appreciate it. So I'm just gonna press this down, okay? And when I press it, you'll see I measured at 39.5. Sometimes when you press this flat, your shirt will gain some inches. It will gain some inches because it's kind of like puffed up. So I'm going to measure it again, okay? And remember, I am measuring it from the tip of the sleeve. That's the furthest point to the tip of the sleeve. I was at 39.5. I'm at 40 now. I'm at 40 inches now. So I recommend, and if you're asking what's the best way, if you want to know the best way, I recommend you press your shirt flat. If you're going to use a jig, go ahead and use your jig. Hey, Stevie, what's going on? If you're going to use a jig, go ahead and use your jig. But I recommend you press your shirt flat and then you measure it because the width is going to be longer. Initially, before I pressed it, it was 39.5 inches. Now, after I pressed it, it's right at 40 inches. So that means that the shirt was kind of puffed up. And as I laid it down, now I may have to adjust my design, okay? I may have to adjust my design now. And that's one of the things that a lot of people don't think about. So I did print my design already. I printed my design already based off previous measurements. And that's okay if I have to press it. If I have to print it again, that's okay. But I'm going to take and cut this design out just to see where I stand, okay? Now, some people will tell you not to worry about cutting the design out. If you can see through the design, that's on you. You don't cut it out, you don't cut it out. Me, I don't want to have any issues. Once again, this is not just a quick project. This is for a customer. So I want to make sure I get this right. So I always trim around my design. And I promise you guys it's easier for me. I found that it's easier when I trim around the design to lay the design over top of the t-shirt. So I can know that everything is going to fit, okay? Positioning is going to be important because there's one part that a lot of people don't think about when they're designing the t-shirt. The one part that a lot of people don't think about when they're designing a t-shirt, and I'm going to talk to you about it here in a minute, okay? A lot of people don't do this because they say, hey, it takes a long time, but it really don't take that long. Okay, so I got it cut out. So I'm going to go ahead and place this over here. And I want to see if it's hitting in all the spots. I want to make sure it's hitting in all the spots. If it's not hitting in all the spots, then I have a problem. I want it to be covering up the whole t-shirt. Here's the problem. Sometimes it won't do that. Sometimes it's going to miss, so you're going to have to adjust and turn your shirt. Now, the one part that people miss when they're designing is here. This is the one part that they miss when they're designing, because sometimes they'll design inside that box, and this is the downside. This is the downside to designing in the box. They have their design up too high. So how do they know where the neck is going to hit? You're cutting off letters. You're cutting off the heads. That's why, to me, it's important that you have a workable template, okay? What size did I make the transfer? I made the transfer of 42. I measured it at 40 by 31, and I ended up making it 42 by 33. So it's going to work. So 42 by 33. And if for some reason your design does not work, sometimes you might have to adjust your template. Sometimes you may have to adjust your shirt, okay? Here, you're looking at a template. I got some wrinkles right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I got some wrinkles right there. I don't like those wrinkles. So I'll take my template off. I'll shake my shirt out. And I know this sounds a little crazy, may seem a little anal retentive, but I don't want to have missing ink where there should be none. The only places, in my opinion, that we should be missing ink is under the arms. I don't want to have missing ink on the sides or on the face of the sleeve if I can help it, okay? So if I shake that shirt out, and once I heat that shirt up, it's going to matter. This is going to matter as well. It sounds like it's crazy. Can y'all see that seam? I like to have the seam towards the back. If I can have the seam towards the back, if I'm just doing the front of the shirt, if I can have the seam towards the back, that's going to help me to get the shirt done correctly as well. So if I got the seam in the back, everything is lined up in the back, then I'm feeling a lot comfortable. So I may have to adjust my template. Excuse me, I may have to adjust my jig. Once again, this is not to discourage anybody, but it's simply meant to encourage, because a lot of folks, when they're doing this, they're doing it off the strength of, hey, I saw a video and I can do it. I want to explain to you in step by step, or at least some of the steps, as to some of the things that we run into when we're actually doing these shirts based off of the image or the design that you've gotten. When I make my jig, I don't make my jig to stretch my shirt out. I make my jig to hit some parts. Some of the parts that I'm concerned about are the sleeves and up here around the corner, because that's what starts where it likes to wrinkle. Okay. Now I'm grabbing my shirt to where my seams are at the back. And when I lay my shirt down, I want my seams to be on the back. Probably saying, well, that's real anal retentive. Well, it's going to help everything to lay down. And if everything is laying down as much as it can, then I don't have a subpar looking shirt. Because remember, somebody paid for this. And although they didn't pay for perfection, they still paid. So I want to get this as best as I can. I want to get this as best as I can for that customer. Once again, I'm putting these right here so that I can protect the sleeve. This, for some reason, it wants to keep on pushing up. And it's probably because of the first way I pressed it. The very first way that I pressed it, that's probably why. And I promise you, when I'm doing this, the process goes a lot faster. Especially with certain size shirts, the process goes a lot faster. I also have my mini iron, my little mini Cricut iron. I have that as well. That helps it to go a little quicker as well. So if y'all got any questions, don't hesitate to drop them. And as I see them, I will address them. Yeah, rechecking and rechecking. Yep, you always measure twice. Because if you only measure once, you're going to end up cutting it twice. That means I'm going to have to do another shirt. And it doesn't matter how many shirts we have in our shop. Who wants to waste supplies, right? Not me. I'm even going to the point of protecting this down here. Because I want them to get a clean shirt. Protecting the shirt is going to be important. Making sure the white stays white. So I got a clean side over here. It's real smooth on this side. On this side, it's not as smooth. So I'm going to take my iron. I'm going to press the shirt one more time. And I'm going to take my iron. And I'm going to hit the shirt. The bottom line, though, guys, is the template matters. Once again, you can go on Etsy. I want you guys to go on Etsy today. And this is not to, downplay any of the designers, but I want you guys to go on Etsy today. And I want you to look at the different templates. You'll see templates that with the shirts looking like how I'm standing. You'll see templates with the shirts like this. And then you'll see templates with the shirts like this. You want more of a natural tee when you're searching for a template or a design. That's just my opinion. I know the one that we use, it works for our shirts, and it also works for the jersey shirts. I got more wrinkles on this side, so I'm just taking my iron, plug it up, and straighten it out. Is there anybody out there? Is anybody out there doing 3D shirts? Anybody out there designing shirts? Inquiring minds want to know. John, Grand Rising. Anybody out there designing 3D shirts? Remember, I'm not a designer. However, like one young lady said on TikTok, Photoshop pops up and you have a design box. Just because it has that design box, I know that there are some instructors that are teaching you to design inside that box, but the t-shirt is not going, the image is not going on the box. The image is going on the t-shirt. So wouldn't it make sense for you to get a decent template and actually design that in that template? Or even if you're going to do a transparent design, that you can actually hover that over that box and see if those images are fitting in there. That way you can now start to position those pictures, those images, those words, and push them inside there. Like I said, I don't do Photoshop. My wife does. I guess, like I said, I need to have her come on here so she can speak to that. But to me, it's kind of like a common sense type deal. If I'm going to design a sock, I'm not going to design a sock in a rectangle. I mean, I'm not going to design a sock in a triangle. I'm going to design it in that shape. Templates do matter, y'all. Templates do matter. So I just got my little Cricut mini iron. It's a little Cricut mini iron. It's good for something. I'm just getting these wrinkles out of here. I think your phone's ringing. And the design will make the shirt. So you guys know, the design will make the shirt. One issue that I'm having right now, and I don't want to print this again, but one issue I'm having right now is that I'm missing some space up here. So I'm trying to adjust that so I can get it on the shirt. But if I can't do it, I'm going to have to print it again. Because I'm not going to waste the shirt trying to make the paperwork. So this is not going to work because I actually pressed it. This is not going to work the way the design is on here. The template is on here, the way the shirt is. Every shirt is cut differently. Every shirt's cut differently. So I'm just missing it right around here. And no, I can't use this for another shirt. If it was a smaller shirt, then nothing else would fit. So I'm gonna have to adjust my measurements on my computer a little bit, and that's gonna lead me to do something different. But the whole goal, and the whole idea, guys, was so you can see how to actually measure that shirt, and also how to use a template that's going to make sense. So I hope you got some value out of this. This video will be up. You can go back and look at it. Go back and go to the front to see where I actually measured the shirt and how to actually properly measure it. Like I said, if you're using any type of design software, whether you're doing Photoshop, Silhouette Studio, Canva, Affinity, whatever the case may be, you may start off using a box. That's your design space. But you also want to make sure that your t-shirt is going to fit inside of that t-shirt template image. So like I always say, ladies and gentlemen, when you know better, that's when you have the ability to do better. And the only knowledge that's powerful is properly applied knowledge. I see everybody at the top because there's too many people struggling at the bottom. Peace.